Hi everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers MPG-03 Yukikaze for the old MPG line. We'll go ahead and put the train off to the side real quick, and we're going to look at this box. But yes, you can see Yukikaze in both his train and robot modes there. You got the MPG logo and Takara Tomy and Cybertron Heavy Snow Fighter, and up here you got Transformers MPG. And on the side here, you have a shot of the train mode, and on this side, you have a shot of the robot, and on the bottom, you have a bunch of copyrights and warnings and all that stuff, and on the back, you have a whole bunch of product shots, and hey, look, the other guys, and what he comes with, and hey, look, the Gatai mode. Yes. He also comes with instructions, which are largely mostly helpful. There's one spot I kind of got a little stuck. Hopefully, my video will help with that. So there's that. Got the bio card, which is a nice snowy thing, because it makes sense. And you got his tech specs and stuff on the back too, including he's apparently only got a 4 for endurance and fire blast and 3 in rank. Interesting. Fire blast. The other weird thing is it comes with this actual booklet, which is kind of neat, and it has the I guess it's about the stuff like the lines so far, like the you know, the original G1 Raiden, and all this stuff there, and MP line in general, and hey, look, it's also got, hey, look, little blip bits about the trains, both current, and hey, look, there's the render, or some, well, CG for the L5, and 04 is right there, and then 06 is still just a prototype, and they're showing off all the stuff on almost finished Raiden, and then, hey, more things. Yep, all that's coming soon, and also, hey, look, other toys you can get, including Studio Series and Masterpiece and Legacy, and hey, look, they have a YouTube now that you can actually access internationally. They used to be restricted to Japan. Anyway, Yukikaze, he is a 200 series Shinkansen train. He's very similar to Shoki in a sense, although more green, as you can see. He is a very nice looking train. He actually kind of holds together a little bit better than Shoki. Shoki has those weird bulgy bits, but you can see, yeah, again, the green striping, the kind of, it's not white, it's more of a creamish color. You get that, you get the little lights right there in the little different color dome. You got the cockpit, it's transparent plastic there. You got, or translucent, whatever you want to say. You got the doors molded in, a bunch of all that stuff. You got all the windows going down, a bunch of detailing, vent detailing, whatnot down there. Two more doors. On the top, you have cool thing of the silver, and you got the little, I don't know, an AC unit or something. Some sort of fan unit there, and you got all these little detailings there. Another one there. On the back, also, you have the little door. You just pick out silver, and of course, on the bottom, you have actually not a whole lot. It's mostly just little silver wheels, which roll. And there you go. That's the train. Close. And he does roll. Rolls pretty well, actually. But of course, he also comes with the track pieces, which you can use, and yeah, you want to make sure to put them together so that these two slots are close to each other, and you can use the track, and it's no problem. Although, yeah, once again, just like I think a little bit, it's kind of difficult to line up, but once you do, again, smooth rolling, but you only go so far. That's the thing, and of course, it does come with this little clear adapter piece, which plug in right here. See, there's a little peg here, and there's little tabs and all that stuff. It plugs in actually right here. Sorry, plugs on this hole right here. Plugs in right there. Might be backwards that way. There we go. Yeah, plugs in there, holds in securely, and that is so you can, of course, once again, use one of these style arms. Yep, like Shoki. You then go ahead and plug that in. Plug that in, and then plug this over top, and there you go. You have a flying train. Yeah, you can once again do that. So use a stand. I suspect the final 3 will use the other stand, so like Getsue did. So we'll see, but I suspect that will be the case. But yeah, you can do all that, and of course, it tends to come out of there easier. But so there you go. Now, a couple other things. Of course, he has a couple other accessories, namely his gun, which, nice gray bit, nice and detailing, gray. But, this also can store. That peg hole right there. There's a little peg right here. Stores nice and secure, very easy. The easiest of the three so far. Doesn't pop off. You don't have to undo anything. It just stores it there. Now, the other thing it comes with is for the combined mode. We'll get a little more into that later. But yeah, combined mode head for right. And you can see that right there. It comes like this in the package. And well, you can store it in the train as well. What you do for that is you take this black piece and you fold that up. You take the head crest here. You want to, on the forehead, you slide that forward. Mine's a little stiff. You slide that forward, rotate that around, and then just slide it back. It doesn't slide back all the way, but you want it like that. And then you take this piece, and what you want to do here is you want to open up these panels right here. Just get those up and out of the way. So get this up and out of the way. This one is being very stubborn for some reason. There we go. Get this up on the way, and then go ahead and just split this back half. You want to undo these bits and this bit right here. You want to undo these panels and just bring that out like that, and then lower this down. That you see this little notch here. See that notch? There's little tabs right here which will just slide right in. You want to make sure the head's facing this way. Slide that right in like that, and then just bring that up, and then close this over top. Like so. Just close that over top. Make sure to give it a good squeeze. Squeeze it all together and bring these back down like that. And there you go. The head is now stored away, which is... This is not quite lining up. There we go. Now the head's stored away. You can see right in there. You can't even tell there's a head in there because of how it stores them. You can't really even tell that there's a head in there, which is pretty neat, actually. It's that everything stores here except for, well, I guess the stand adapter, but that's not a big deal. And if you have it displayed in the flying mode, then that's not a problem anyway. But anyway, yeah. So that's Yukikaze's train mode, really. So, of course, comparisons. Here he is with Shoki, which you can see, you can see they're very similar, not in just length, but like just, you can see the tops are a bit different, but yeah, you can see largely they are very similar trains. You can see even the front there. It's different windows, and you can see the different windows. Back end are slightly different. Something he's not collapsed properly. I don't know what that's going to happen, but yeah. Back end's a bit different. Yeah, very similar trains because they're both Shinkansen. And of course, Getsue, who you can see is once again noticeably smaller, which is funny because they're both the legs. So this is one of those engineering fun things that they had to deal with. But yeah, you can see very, very different sizes. So, and of course, the rail. I'm just going to show this all off. The rail track can also reconnect with the rest like that. And this is where I've discovered the issue of, hey, guess what? This is way too big for my recording setup, and I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point. Gonna be a thing because he's gonna also have to be the back end of the train because they once again have the little bits you can hook together like that. And this one he's got the little thing back there only on the back end, so together you can have the whole thing there. You can do that. Eventually this train is going to be ridiculously long, and then I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to handle that. I did that thing before where I picked up these two. I tried that again. It fell apart real quick because eventually it's going to be like easily a 6 foot long train by the end of the day. But yeah, it's going to be kind of wild. But that's very much a thing. So that's the thing you can do, and it's going to be a doozy when it's all said and done. Yeah. That's Yukikaze. It's train mode, anyway. By the way, Yukikaze means, roughly could translate to like snow wind or snow breeze. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and transform to robot mode, and we'll keep going with this review, huh? Yeah. Transformation to get here is actually not too bad. The upper torso is actually pretty simple. The legs can be a bit of a problem, but it's actually just kind of, once you learn how to manage them, it's actually not too bad. And so the first time or two you go through, it might be a little difficult, but after you kind of figure it out, it's not too bad. The biggest thing is just simply the way the legs work, kind of somewhat counterintuitive in the sense that like these panels for these train panels kind of just tab around the leg, that they're kind of almost free floating around the leg and just tab into each other. Once you figure it out that they're quirks, it's, again, you can get them, but sometimes they like to push themselves loose and you kind of have to sit there kind of getting them to behave again. But overall, it's a pretty solid looking robot. You got this nice green helmet with you got a nice green helmet there with a blue visor there. You got the silver face. You kind of looks all stern. You got this cool chest with this nice little red and yellow translucent tan, plus the Autobot symbol and all that stuff. You got all that silver. You got some black arms, and you got the train panel thing, which, for better or for worse, are there. You got some gray, the white thighs. And you got some more gray, the gunmetal type of thing, and you got all that down to the feet. You got the train panels again. Backpack, which is G1 accurate, for better or for worse, take it or leave it. And you got all these little thrusters on the back too, which is kind of neat. There's a transformation step solely for that bit right there. And yeah, you got those hip panels, which are kind of faux train panels too, so that's kind of a neat thing. And yeah, it's a overall pretty solid looking robot. Rather like it. I rather like this one, actually. Visually, I think this is my favorite so far, actually, of the three. Maybe, it'll be down the line. I say that by every single one, who knows? But I just visually like this one a lot compared to the other two. Even though I do also like those ones, I think Kitsui so far is actually kind of the weakest. Shoki's pretty great. But yeah, so he looks great overall, and I rather like him. It's just transformation can be a little bit of an annoyance, and also on top of that, when you get doing the heels, sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain because if you don't have those lined up right, he'll just go boop, because his heels aren't right. So make sure that those heels are right. And if he starts to fall over, just adjust the heels a little bit. You can just kind of, there's a hinge here. You can just go ahead and then, adjust it a bit so he stands a little nicer. Anyway, of course, accessories again. He's got his gun, which goes in his hand. It's the typical tab and slot. Tab, slot. And it goes, and there you go. He's holding his gun, his little rifle, which can still store back here, I guess, in that peg, although it's going to look a little weird, to be honest. And you got all that stuff. Now, the head, once again, can actually store in this mode as well. The instructions make it don't make it as clear as it should be, but it's actually fairly straightforward. What you hear back here, what you want to do is you want to angle this back and angle this right there. And here, what you want to do is you want to bring this up, and there's these little grooves in the bottom. You see that right here, that little groove where my thumb is? there's these little slots on the thruster bits, which you want to line those up, and you want to get that up in there, and then push that up into the grooves like that. And then the wheels here will now kind of sit in an angle, and you want to bring this up like that, and they'll sit nice and straight, and the head's kind of chilling out back here, but hey, it sits, it soars, it's nice. The only thing it might make him a little bit more back heavy, but if you have the heels set right, he'll still stand. So it's actually pretty neat that the head does store on here, so if you're not in combined mode, it has somewhere to go, which is, it's nice. You know, it's kind of obvious, but it's not too bad, all things considered, you know? A little obvious, but not too bad, and you still got the thrusters, and it kind of integrates fairly decently. So, there you go. That's real nice. As far as I can tell, his little adapter has no use in this mode. You don't really need one, because, not really, as far as I can tell, because, again, there's the port's right back there, and I double check that. I think it might. Does it work? Should work. One thing is the head might get in the way, but double check this. I'm just going to check it, rather not. Yes, it is compatible, though you're going to have to do some finagling. But it is compatible. Thing is, if you have it on the stand, you're probably just going to have to get rid of the head and not store it. So, just an FYI on that. So, anyway. Articulation. Interesting articulation. He's got ball jointed heads. So you got left and right, up and down. A bit of waggle. Not a whole lot. I think it's ball. I think it's ball. Shouldn't be ball joint. Look like it is a ball joint, but it's kind of stiff on the waggle. Probably the cut. Shoulders. You have full rotation, 360. You have outward that far. You have a bicep swivel, the double jointed elbow. So you got that. Wrists are on swivels. And of course, as you can see, the fingers can open and close as a single unit. I do not think there's an individual pointer. No, there's not. Not going to make that mistake again. Yeah, and of course, these panels get out of the way as well. It has a waist swivel, which is, if you don't have the head attached, I believe it's unhindered. But with the head, it's a little hindered. I will check that real quick. Yeah, you gotta have to adjust things a bit. Yeah, it's a little hindered still, but it's not too bad. You got that much range before it starts banging into things. So that's, I think, good from pretty much most poses. You can kind of get an ab crunch, but you have to untab this, and then if you do that, you can get kind of an ab crunch, but then it starts kind of looking a little funky if you go too far, but you can get one thanks to the combined mode articulation, but you have to untab that chest panel to do so. Hips, you got, of course, these getting out of the way, and these hip skirts getting out of the way too. There's nothing on the back, so hips, you have a bit of soft ratchet going forward that far. Back that far because of how it's shaped. Outward, you have that far, and yeah, unfortunately that came undone. That's kind of a bit of an issue sometimes, is they don't stay tabbed. Particularly this leg. On mine, this leg's really bad about staying tabbed together. You got full out splits. You do have a thigh swivel, which is nice. Knees, you get about 90 degrees, although it's kind of heavy, so there's a ratchet, but it's not the strongest ratchet. Oh yeah, speaking of, at the knee here, it just did. I just noticed it. This is a problem. I don't know how else you can see it, but I just noticed on mine that the little rail here has a tendency to crack, and mine just did it. So that's a problem. Yeah, you can see, possibly, you might be able to see that yeah, there's a little bit of a crack there. Yeah, it's cracked. Just notice that, so that's a bit of a problem. I think it still functions, but it's going to be a bit of a, yeah, it's going to be a problem, but not too bad of a problem, I hope. But yeah, I don't know why that's happening, but it is. Yeah, apparently there's the Yukikaze's knees had right there tend to crack a bit. Mine are fine. Of course, they were actually fine up until this video. Actually, they were fine until this point. I was gonna talk about how I was gonna, I haven't had problems, and then I noticed, hey, this knee ratchet's kind of being weird, and yep, So that just sucks. That just sucks right there. So seems to be a fairly frequent problem. I'm not sure what exactly causes it, but I think it's you got to be real careful with those knees. Anyway, moving on though. The feet have ankle tilts, although not a whole lot because of how it's shaped. You got pretty much that much range. Yeah, pretty much that much range, and that's pretty much your lot. And you got a downward toe joint, which I'm not sure how that's helpful or anything, but yeah, you got that. So, yeah. Kind of sucks about the knee thing, but yeah, and also the thighs like to do weird stuff too. Yeah, so that kind of sucks about the knee, but doesn't seem to it seems to actually still largely function, but maybe we'll see if I'm going to try to see if I can get some glue on there and fix that. So that's an unfortunate thing. But anyway, comparisons real quick. Here's Shoki. He doesn't want to stand right. Why does he not want to stand? There we go. Shoki. And Gatsue. There they are for now. 3 of the 6. 3 of 6. We're halfway there. Now, gonna go ahead and transform him to leg mode, and we'll talk about combine the leg mode and a few other things. So here we go. Okay, yeah, it's a leg, all right. Again, they can do a pretty impressive job considering how much bigger this guy is compared to Katsue. That he compresses down to a leg that actually will work. Yeah, you got the leg there. Everything looks good. The transformation is again. Most of the difficulty is this part right here. This part's pretty simple, regardless of going from train or robot. The transformation, the instructions. They don't tell you certain things like that this slider bit, they don't want you, it doesn't actually work if they're all the way down on this slider right here. There's a slider right there that doesn't work if it's all the way down. These just bump into things. So you have to have them slightly raised a bit and then use the tabs on this part to hold it in place. But you do have, a leg. And the cool thing is this one also, you can still store the weapon in this mode. So, yay. Unlike Katsue, who you can't, at least so as far as anyone knows. Maybe the story takes place later on some other robot, but as for now, we have nowhere to put Getsue's gun, but he does have a place. And also this makes it clear that actually this upper part, the thigh, is actually supposed to look like this, and so this top part's going to be angled, which is going to be interesting. But you can see he's going to have definitely posability of sorts. Definitely posability. The knees, once again, you kind of have to go, just kind of either go clean or a little messy. I feel like these can kind of sink into there, but it's not easy. And yeah, because you can see you do have a knee bend, and it's a pretty good one. But these, yeah, they kind of like, yeah, you kind of have to have them on the outside of these, so you're gonna have to decide messy or clean for the, messy and posable, or clean and not so posable. So that. Now, here's the thing. I said I was not going to do too many comparisons for combined mode because I'm going to wait till later. But because of the nature of things, here he is with Getsue, which, interestingly enough, you can see, yeah, the feet are definitely different sizes for sure. This is not sitting right. There we go. But yeah, feet are different sizes, which is going to be interesting. This one I noted was a little unstable. Oh, forgot about this part. Forgot about that. Always forget those panels. But yeah, this one's a little more solid. And overall, I'm pretty sure this is going to be solid when it's all combined. Yeah, when it's all combined, I'm pretty sure these are going to be solid. And there you go on that. And this is not for comparison, but to show you what to do with the head. Now, the head here, you see, what you got to do here is, you pull this part out again, rotate this back around and plug it back in. You unfold this part, and optional, I guess if you want a more cartoon or more toy, you can fold these bits out right there. Also, you've got light piping. I'm not sure what's showing up here, but you've got light piping. And here's the thing. A lot of people are complaining about, the legs on Shoki just kind of chill out back there with nothing. Well, guess what? This actually, as I suspected, this holds it all together. Now, what you got to do here is, okay, so there's this little notch here. These tabs go in that notch, and these things will be what these bits on the legs here will plug into when it's all said and done. So the notch, you might have to adjust this piece a bit. You might have to slide the blue piece slightly just to get it to fit. Yeah, get that to fit and then push it back. Bit, and then right here, yeah, you can see these round bits will go into these little bits right there. That's what holds it in place. I'll hold it all together, and now it's all solid, and now you have the head on there, and there you go. Ready for, arms and hips and all that stuff, which we don't have quite yet, but we'll get eventually this year. So yep, there's the head, and yeah, you can see it will be a thing, and you'll be able to, yeah, visually you can see it's going to be probably around here or so. Yeah, probably right about here, probably. We'll see. We'll see in the future how big Kain is overall. So yeah, that's the heads thing. So Yukikaze. Okay, so I genuinely like this one overall the most. However, unfortunately, mine, well, it broke like a lot of people's are breaking at the knee slider. This knee slider is breaking on people, so it seems possibly like a pin firing issue. They fire the pins in and might have stressed the plastic enough that it eventually cracks. There's also, I noticed the slider is a weird angled slider, so that might have a problem with it. I'll have to look at the footage, but it might have been just now when I was transforming it to robot mode. Well, not just now, but when I was transforming robot mode, I might have accidentally put pressure on the wrong spot and caused it to crack. So I would suggest being very careful with that knee, with the knees on this guy for the robot mode. Just be really careful how you interact with it, and when you push it, just make sure to put force very close to, like, as close to the center as possible. Don't grab it with the leg here and just slide it. Try to use all the force at the knee itself if you can. But the transformations are actually, once you know what you're doing, it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty fun, in my opinion. The only thing is these panels sometimes get a little in the way. But overall, he's got a good train mode. He's got a good robot mode. Actually, I think the foot mode is even better than Getsue. Getsue's was a little weird, but this one I think is actually pretty decent overall. Transformations, again, pretty solid. Got real nice paint. But the only thing, and got a good gun, but the only thing is that knee crack thing, which is, it doesn't seem to actually hurt the toy in the sense that like it still holds together, but really be careful. That's the one thing I would caution, is just be really careful with the knees, because otherwise it's really solid, and I haven't had any other, I haven't heard any real other breakages, but yeah, that knee is going to be a problem for a lot of people, I think, and that's going to suck, but it seems to be solid with, even though it's a thing, but just be careful. If it does crack, I'll see if I can, I'm going to look in there and see if I can possibly do something to fix it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't want to accidentally, glue it in such a, now it won't slide at all because the glue. That'd be bad, but, and the price for point E is what, 100, and I think it was $120 or so total. Actually, maybe closer to 130, somewhere in that range after shipping and everything. So yeah, a little spendier, but still, I think you get pretty good bang for your buck. It's just that one problem. Again, it doesn't seem to be affecting it too much, but just something to be aware of, and just be really careful with the sliders. And apparently some people's, it's actually broken out of the box. So, I would definitely lend credence to the idea that the factory is doing something wrong. But other than that, it's a really good figure, and that's the point, in that not only that happened to happen on camera. So yeah, that's the one thing. Otherwise, other than that, it would be a hold hard recommendation. It's just the knee thing. So yeah. So just be aware of that. I still overall generally like it, and hopefully I can fix that or something, but it is what it is. So that's it for this one. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like and comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.org/Nemesis-Prime, and check out my Coffee on Patreon, and I shall see you next time with another video review.